I have studied many times the marble which was chiseled for me, a boat with a furled sail at rest in a harbor. In truth, it pictures not my destination, but my life, for love was offered me, and I shrank from its disillusionment. Sorrow knocked at my door, but I was afraid. Ambition called to me, but I dreaded the chances. Yet all the while I hungered for meaning in my life, and now I know that we must lift the sail and catch the winds of destiny wherever they drive the boat. To put meaning in one's life may end in madness, but life without meaning is the torture of restlessness and vague desire. It is a boat longing for the sea and yet afraid. You may think, passerby, that fate is a pitfall outside of yourself, around which you may walk by the use of foresight and wisdom. Thus you believe, viewing the lives of other men as one who in godlike fashion bends over an anthill, seeing how their difficulties could be avoided. But pass on into life. In time you shall see fate approach you in the shape of your own image in the mirror, or you shall sit alone by your own hearth, and suddenly the chair by you shall hold a guest, and you shall know that guest, and read the authentic message of his eyes. Did you ever see an alligator come up to the air from the mud, staring blindly under the full glare of noon? Have you seen the stabled horses at night tremble and start back at the sight of a lantern? Have you ever walked in darkness when an unknown door was open before you, and you stood, it seemed, in the light of 1,000 candles of delicate wax? Have you walked with the wind in your ears and the sunlight about you and found it suddenly shine with an inner splendor? Out of the mud many times, before many doors of light, through many fields of splendor, where around your steps a soundless glory scatters like new fallen snow, will you go through earth, O strong of soul, and through unnumbered heavens to the final flame. I have known the silence of the stars and of the sea, and the silence of the city when it pauses, and the silence of a man and a maid, and the silence of the sick when their eyes roam about the room. And I ask for the depths. Of what use is language? A beast of the field moans a few times when death takes its young, and we are voiceless in the presence of realities. We cannot speak. A curious boy asks an old soldier sitting in front of the grocery store, "How did you lose your leg?" And the old soldier is struck with silence, or his mind flies away because he cannot concentrate it on Gettysburg. It comes back jocosely, and he says, "A bear bit it off." And the boy wonders, while the old soldier dumbly, feebly lives over the flashes of guns, the thunder of cannon, the shrieks of the slain, and himself lying on the ground, and the hospital surgeons, the knives, and the long days in bed. But if he could describe it all, he would be an artist. But if he were an artist, there would be deeper wounds which he could not describe. There is the silence of a great hatred, and the silence of a great love, and the silence of an embittered friendship. There is the silence of a spiritual crisis, through which your soul, exquisitely tortured, comes with visions, not to be uttered into a realm of higher life. There is the silence of defeat. There is the silence of those unjustly punished, and the silence of the dying whose hand suddenly grips yours. There is the silence between father and son, when the father cannot explain his life. even though he be misunderstood for it. There is the silence that comes between husband and wife. There is the silence of those who have failed, and the vast silence that covers broken nations and vanquished leaders. There is the silence of Lincoln, thinking of the poverty of his youth, and the silence of Napoleon after Waterloo, and the silence of Jeanne d'Arc, saying amid the flames, "Blessed Jesus," revealing in 2 words all sorrows, all hope. And there is the silence of age, too full of wisdom for the tongue to utter it, in words intelligible to those who have not lived the great range of life. And there is the silence of the dead. If we who are in life cannot speak of profound experiences, why do you marvel that the dead do not tell you of death? Their silence shall be interpreted as we approach them. The earth keeps some vibration going there in your heart, and that is you. And if the people find you can fiddle, why fiddle you must for all your life. What do you see? A harvest of clover, or a meadow to walk through to the river, the winds in the corn. You rub your hands for beeves hereafter, ready for market, or else you hear the rustle of skirts like the girls when dancing at Little Grove. To Cooney Potter, a pillar of dust or whirling leaves meant ruinous drouth. They looked to me like Redhead Sammy, stepping it off to Toralore. How could I, till my 40 acres, not to speak of getting more, with a medley of horns, bassoons, and piccolos stirred in my brain by crows and robins, and the creak of a windmill, only these? And I never started to plow in my life that someone did not stop in the road and take me away to a dance or picnic. I ended up with 40 acres. I ended up with a broken fiddle, and a broken laugh, and 1,000 memories, and not a single regret.